the best and worst things about video games in October 2025. I'll be talking about some of the games that I played in this month and what are the best and the worst things about them. Starting with Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 is probably the worst one yet. And I'm not talking about the multiplayer because that is incredible. Battlefield 6 campaign is the first campaign after Battlefield Hardline. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 have had, these war stories, which are really good, but not one campaign, one story from start to finish. And Battlefield are not really known for their campaign. Most people play multiplayer. It's the same deal with Call of Duty. However, Call of Duty has good campaigns. Battlefield, I think, had Bad Company 2, their last good campaign. Battlefield 3 was decent and Battlefield 4 was not so much good. But regardless, all those Battlefield had good characters. In Battlefield 6, expect none of those. The best thing about Battlefield 6 is the quality is amazing, the acting is really good, and that's, I guess, it. So the first thing that's really bad about Battlefield 6 is the mission structure. It doesn't make any sense. And let me tell you why. The first mission is you trying to get away from enemies who are literally bombing that area. So you're just driving in a Jeep with a turret on the top and you're trying to get the hell out of there. But for some reason, the Humvee slows down because you are supposed to kill all these people. And then it speeds up and then again it slows down because there are more enemies and then it speeds up again. It makes no sense because you're supposed to be getting the hell out of there. It immediately reminded me of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original one. You're in a Humvee, again using a turret, but you're driving slowly and all of a sudden you're being attacked by militias and then you're getting the hell out of there and you are trying to shoot as many people as you can and then the Humvee gets destroyed. That makes it much more realistic versus what Battlefield 6 did. It just doesn't make any sense. There's another moment where you're trying to take out the chopper and it felt so long because you had to shoot the chopper 3 times while the chopper came in, went away, then came in, went away. It just felt like, what? The other thing is story. I thought the story is going to be interesting because the trailer gave me that feeling. But the story was not really that interesting. I had no idea what was going on because I could not follow anything. There are no memorable characters. There was an opening moment where the game tried to make it a little bit more memorable maybe, or maybe tried to make it more emotional, but it felt completely flat and it somehow could not follow up after that. It just felt like all these story ideas just were mashed in together to make a campaign, to make a story, and they just went with it. If Battlefield 6 didn't have a campaign, it probably would have been better. But speaking of things that are much better are all the other 3 games that I played. First one being Dispatch. Dispatch is this episodic Telltale type game where you're playing as a dispatcher trying to dispatch these ex-supervillains. The best thing about this game is the animation style is top notch. It's amazing. It's like Invincible but in 3D. And also you have amazing performances by incredible actors. Aaron Paul, who is playing the lead, Robert Robertson, does his delivery so well. He's a character who has given up on life and given up on his superhero life, but is also determined to do something that he wants to do. So you get that kind of mix very well, and the humor is pretty good, but it might be a hit or miss for a lot of people. I actually enjoyed it for the most part. We have a lot of cool actors and they all perform very, very well. You have a few YouTubers as well who have done amazing with their roles, which is, quite incredible. The other thing is the writing of the game. I think the story and the writing of the characters are pretty good. You're not gonna see anything absolutely incredible. You have seen some of these things, but it's well done that you want to see the next episode. It is a Telltale type game, which means there is very, very minimal gameplay. So you're basically watching a TV series. But there is a little bit of video game there where you're trying to dispatch heroes based on their attributes. So you end up thinking about which superhero would be best for which mission, and that's basically it. There's also a little bit of hacking mechanic that you do with some quick time events, and that's the video game part of it. So it's very basic. If you played games like Telltale, The Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, then this game is definitely for you. Another game that literally blew my mind when I was playing it is this new indie thriller game called Radiolite. This game is amazing because it's like Firewatch, but also Oxenfree, if you know what that game is. The best thing about this game is the mystery storytelling aspect of it. The storytelling is so good, it's written so well. You're genuinely curious about what's happening in this park, what's happening with this missing person, because a couple people have been missing for some time. You play as a cop and you're trying to solve this mystery by going around this park and seeing what exactly happened. There's a lot there in it that I was really surprised by. Another thing that really surprised me is the acting. The voice acting is incredible.
God damn it, please tell me you can fucking hear me. Great. Well, I'm just telling you, I'm getting out of here. now.
I felt like it was a humanized character. It didn't feel like a video game dialogue system, if that makes any sense. All these characters were talking as they would in real life. It made so much sense, and I was so much into all of these characters, every single characters over there. I was genuinely surprised how good this game is, and if you like thriller games, then you should definitely try this game out. It's called Radiolite. It's on Steam. Very good pricing, and one of my favorite games of this year. Another horror game that I've been really enjoying, it's a recent one, is called Ire, a Prologue. The narrative director of this game has actually worked on Halo games before, Halo 2, ODS 3, Reach, and is the first game of this franchise. Do not know what that is going to be, but this game itself is so cool. It's basically PT on a boat in a Bermuda Triangle. You're playing as this kid, Emily, who's trying to find her dad on a boat in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. It's a walking simulator, hide and seek, puzzle solving kind of game. You have seen this before, but what makes it interesting is the mystery surrounding it, being in Bermuda Triangle, and there's a loop that you get to be in, but it's not really PT in a way. It has its own ingredients. There's also a monster that chases you, but it's not a monster that you can actually see. That's a very interesting thing that they did around this game, and it's not a game that will absolutely surprise you. It's a game that is very well made because you are constantly trying to figure out what's happening, what's the story around it. And there is some good scares. You would be scared around this environment, but if you have played this game a lot more, you probably know what's gonna happen next. Regardless, it's still a very fun game if you're into Halloween spirit. It's a very fun game to play, and I would really recommend for you guys to play this game. Check it out. So these are some of the games that I've been playing. Granted, there's other games like Dying Light the Beast or Ghost of Yotei that I'm still playing, but there's a lot to play to be able to talk about it. But what are the games that you have been playing, and what's the best and worst things about the games that you have been playing so far? Let me know in the comments below.